What's up, everyone? This is Bill with BLR Tuning. Today's watch is a Invicta Bolt. You see it's that green right there. Really nice dial on it and everything. It's a big boy, not bad. Not a bad little collector's item. Anyway, today we're going to be doing a little work on the ZH2. So as many of you may know, we got rid of the Z900 Monster. We were done with product development and whatnot on that bike, and we went ahead and got this ZH2 SE model. So this is ATHENA, and today what we are going to be doing, it's going to be a short video. We're going to be adjusting the suspension. So this bike sits up pretty tall, and you can see it's all the way maxed out. So we're just going to lower this here about a ½ inch. We're going to get what we can out of it. If you look, you're kind of limited to the handlebars, so we want to go up but not high enough to where that is touching the handlebars, the top of the suspension here. This side you got a little more room, but from the factory they are sitting at the exact same height, so we are going to keep them at the exact same height when we make our adjustment. Okay, and we have this on a rear stand. We have some spools back there and we have it on a rear stand. So what we'll do is we will loosen the lower ones. And I don't think we're going to have to take anything apart. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to loosen the lower bolts on both sides. We will slowly loosen one side. Get it to push down a little bit if we have to. We'll get it to come up a little bit to where we want it adjusted at. We're going to do this side first, because this is the side where our kind of a limitation is. I want to try to get about a ½ inch, maybe under a ½ inch, but we'll use a set of calipers. We'll measure the exact measurement. We'll tighten this back down on this side, and then we'll come over here and we'll do this side. Okay, I say loosen both down there because it's going to be easier to get down there and loosen those up. This will hold it in place for the time being. Once we're done, we'll go back through and we'll tighten everything down. And we do have some torque specs for the bolts. Okay, so this is the torque specs right here. The upper front fork clamp bolts, so that's the upper ones, is 15 foot-pounds, and the lower ones are 17 foot-pounds. 15 foot-pounds equals 180 inch-pounds. 17 foot-pounds equals 204 inch-pounds. Usually anytime I'm below 20 to 25 foot-pounds, I'll try to use a inch-pound torque wrench. So that's this guy here, that's Johnny. So yeah, everything's got a name, don't worry. Makes it much easier to find stuff around the shop when you know what you're looking for by name. So that is the torque specs for those clamp bolts up on the front forks. Okay, so let me get the lower ones loose. Okay, so we have these lower bolts. You can see the heads of them right here. They're 6mm Allen right there, loosened on both sides, so I can wiggle them with my fingers. We do have a triple tree lift present with us, so if we have to, we will lift up the front end and take some weight off to lower these back down if they go up too high. Okay, so the proper way to do this would be to take a set of calipers and measure from the top of this nut to the top of the upper triple tree, the clamp right here. So we'll measure from there to there. We'll write that down. That'll be our right side measurement. Come over here. All of our stuff is always going to be as if we were sitting on the bike. So left side, right side, okay? Then we're going to take and we're going to measure from here to here and write that down. We're going to lift this side first because this side is where we have our limited on space. We're going to try to get it to where it's not touching the handlebars or pinching this cable up on top. So you can see here, we do have that little cable coming out. So we're going to get it up but not pinching and getting messed with. And then we will tighten the clamp down. We'll measure that distance. For example, let's say, this is 10mm. It's not, but let's say that is. From here to here is 10mm. When we lift it up, if our total measurement is now 30mm, then we raised this 20. Okay? So we would need to make sure that we raise the other side 20 based on our measurement we took. Okay? Pretty easy math to do. Have a set of calipers here. Getting rained on. Okay, we'll measure it in millimeters so it's a little more accurate than inches, and Take our measurements on each side first. Make sure you write them down. That's the first step. Then we will start loosening this guy and letting it come up. Okay? Helps to have a friend help you do this. Okay, so I put a piece of masking tape right here. We're also going to use a piece of masking tape on the other side. So that's not going to affect your measurement because you're using it on both sides. It's just so the bottom of this caliper doesn't scratch up the triple tree. Okay. Our handlebars are straight, so that's kind of where we would just want to keep them. We're just trying to get a measurement from, make sure these are zeroed out, this little step. So we're going to go right there. Come on. 8.98. 8.98. Okay, so 8.98 millimeter. That's going to be our measurement from here to the triple tree on this side, 8.98. Okay, so we're going to write that down. Okay, so on this side, same thing. We've got our masking tape. We're going to measure off one of the flats on the hexagonal of the nut there on top. We have our masking tape down so we don't scratch anything. So see, what we're doing is dropping that little finger down, and then we're going to be as straight up and down with the bike as we can. Come in here, just like that. I'm going to do that once more here. Can you see what I'm doing at all? Mm-hmm. Oh, you can, okay. Just so make sure you're nice and flat and straight. So I've got right there, it looks like pretty level to me, 6.38. So 6.38 on this side, so that's what we're going to write down. Okay, so now we have our measurement, and what we're going to focus on here is we're going to move this side up. You can go, if you have a certain number in mind, then you can concentrate on that number. We're going to go up till we know the cable isn't touching the handlebars and nothing's getting pinched. And we're going to go up very slow. I got my wife out here, Vanessa, helping us. So we have our pinch bolt on this side that we're going to loosen very slowly. This side's going to come up. We have our triple tree lift down here. If it comes up too high, then we'll loosen it and we'll pick some weight up and it'll drop that side back down. So we're going to get that side where we want, and then we are going to take our measurement again and write that down. Now that will tell us, by doing some math, that will tell us how much we went up. We need to adjust the other side exactly the same as far as how much we go up. So we'll take our 6.38 from the other side, add it to whatever our number is that we went up, and that's what the number we'll be shooting for, okay? You want to be within like 0.25 millimeter. You want to be pretty darn accurate with this, okay? So I will put some weight here. Okay, you go ahead. You're going to start lifting that, letting that go slowly, and I'm just applying just a little bit of pressure on the front end. So go ahead, put two hands on it if you have to. Yep. Very slow. Oh, hold on. Loosen it. Loosen it. Okay, hold on. Go ahead and tighten it down right there. Go, just let's look and see if we are maxed out to what we can do without pinching anything. We don't want to go too low, but I would say you'd probably go up just a hair more than that. So not much. So it's gonna have to be like really accurate here. Go ahead. Real slow, real slow, real slow, real slow. We're looking for it to go up. Real slow. Oh, tighten it, tighten it, tighten it, tighten it right there. Let's look and see what that looks like. Yeah, so right now, go ahead and crank it down, tighten it. We're gonna leave that tight. The lower bolts get clamped down first when we're doing back to torque spec. So, yeah, see, here you can look at it and see what you think. Look, come to this side of the bike. Okay, that's where we're gonna sit at. I'll show you guys. Okay. Remember, when doing this, you are going to affect the performance and the handling of the bike. I don't recommend lowering the front end and not doing some kind of lowering in the back end. Make your own judgments. do your own thing, do your research before you follow this. I'm showing you how to lower the front forks. We also have Brock's Performance lowering links on the way, so we can lower the back end and get the whole bike sitting the same way it was from the factory, just lowered a little bit. It's just so I can touch the ground. It's not to look cool. It's not for performance benefits or anything like that. It's so I can physically touch the ground because I'm on my tippy toes on this bike and it's not comfortable. It's too tall. So we're doing what we can. Okay, I don't want to lower it so much that we're scraping the ground, but what we're going to do now is we got our masking tape back on there. We're going to come in here, we're going to measure down from the same spot we were before. We're going to bring this down right where we were before. Okay, and we're going to write this number down. It's pretty, I think that'll work. Okay, so are we still recording? There's our measurement, 22.69. So we're going to write that down. Okay, so now we can do our math. So you can see how this worked out here. We are now at 22.69. We started at 8.98. If you subtract that number, we went down 13.71 millimeters. 13.71 millimeters equals 0.54 inches. So a little over, just a hair over half an inch lowered in the front, which is what I was going for. It's not huge. That's not bad at all. That's kind of perfect. So now we can do our math over here with our right fork. We know it's 6.38 right now because that cap on top of the shock tube is shorter on this side than it is this side. So by doing the math, 6.38 plus 13.71 gives us a total of 20.09. Okay, so 20.09. So that is where we want to be at when we lower this fork tube. We want the top to measure down to the top of the triple tree, 20.09. With that number, that would make it to where these are both identical and lowered 0.54 inch on each side, or 13.71 millimeter. Okay, so here you can see how the math breaks down, okay? So this going across, total upper, the arrow pointing up, lowered. So this is when it's lowered from the top of the shock down to the triple tree. It'll be that number and that number per each side. Stock, upper, so that's from the top of the shock down to the triple tree. It'll be that number on each side. And then our lowered amount that we actually lowered the bike, 13.71 or half inch, 0.54. Okay, so let's head out here. We'll try to get this other one lined up. Again, same thing. Have a friend help you. Our lower bolt's so loose, we're going to loosen this until it starts climbing upward. And then we're just going to pinch it off. We're going to take a little measurement. We're going to move slow until we get it pretty dang perfect. We want to get it as spot on as we can. Remember, you can be off 0.25 of a millimeter, so a quarter of a millimeter. You can be off by that much and you'll be okay. But you want to try to get it as accurate as you can. Okay? Remember, it helps to have a friend out here helping you. You got a little triple tree lift here, so we can pick weight up and bring the shock down, or lower it down and let some pressure on it so it comes up. Okay, so let's get that done, and then we'll take our measurement and show you guys what we came up with. Okay, so it looks like we have it pretty darn close. And then when we come in here, we already tightened it down because we got our measurement. This took a couple tries, but you see there, we're touching the top, we're touching the triple tree. So we got our caliper locked in. We got a number of 20.01. We're calling it there. We were looking for 20.09. So it's pretty, doesn't really get closer than that. So we are just going to go with that for our number. So now we know that the forks are set the same on both sides. I don't think we can get any more accurate than that. So now these are tightened down by hand. They're tightened down enough to clamp everything. They might be slightly over tightened. We didn't try to, but we want to make sure it's accurate. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop down low. We're going to tighten the right side, and then we're going to tighten the left side. Remember, you're going to do the bottom bolt, get it a little bit snug, hop to the top bolt, get it a little bit snug. You want to tighten them equally, okay? Equal pressure. Once we get those to torque spec, we'll come up here and get this guy to torque spec, okay? Then same thing over here. We'll get those lower ones to torque spec. Then once they're clamped down and this can't move, we'll come over here, loosen this, and then we'll tighten it back down to torque spec, okay? And again, I have our torque spec sheet here. Okay, so the upper bolt is 15 inch-pounds, or excuse me, 15 foot-pounds, 180 inch-pounds. And the lower bolts are 204 inch-pounds, or 17 foot-pounds. Okay, so let's get that down, and then we'll get the bike off the stands, take it around the block, see how it feels. And we'll sit on it and see if I can touch. I was on my tippy toes. Like, I could manage it, but I was literally on my tippy toes. So I'm hoping this gives me just a little bit better. The lowering links in the back is going to help even more, and then we may have to come back up here and adjust the front again. But all of me in the video. Okay, guys, so we lowered the bike about a ½ inch. You see, I'm still on my toes. This is on both feet as flat as I can. If I've got my foot off to the side, or if I'm on my brake and I'm off to this side, like, I'm pretty comfortable now. It definitely gave me a little more. So that helped. Once we get our Brock's Performance lowering links on there, we'll be doing a lot better than what we were doing. So we will be comfortable enough, but we definitely want to lower it just a little bit in the rear. And it does lean quite a bit, so you would probably want to go with something like a Brock's Performance lowering kickstand, but this ain't that bad. Like, if you're going the extreme, you're going to need a kickstand. But just doing this right here helped a little bit, and we don't need a kickstand. Like, it's not, the bike's not going anywhere. It's got plenty of lean still. But if any more than that, we'll see what it looks like when we do the back. Maybe we'll end up needing a kickstand. Not sure yet. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope that helps somebody out on how to lower your front forks. You can apply these methods to quite a bit of different motorcycles. We do offer suspension work here in-house. If you're in Vancouver, Washington, you need your suspension adjusted, need your bike lowered, whatever. We do offer that type of service. Okay, so you can look us up on Google Maps. It's BLR Tuning here in Vancouver, Washington. We're located just off of Andreessen and 4th Plain. And then our website, BLRTUNING.TECH. Keep an eye out for the H2 section, the ZH2 section of our website. I'll post a link in the description. We will have parts available and tuning options and stuff like that for these bikes very soon. Okay. I did sit on the bike and rock it forward and smack on the front brake to get everything to kind of settle back in, so I could really get an idea as to where it's going to sit. Still a little tall, but it'll work. Like I said, I'm short. This sits up quite a bit higher than my Z900 did. So, but anyways, that's Athena. I'm glad you guys got to be able to check out the ZH2 SE. Stay tuned for that video on that Brock's Performance lowering links. We're just waiting on those. They are on order already. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.